Aujourd'hui, je vais parler de this whole New Year thing, right? Do the days feel any different? And instead of macro level predictions, I'll just talk about how personally I know the year will turn out. Because, I am a prophet for myself, after all. Hey, Zenpakir. Yep, another year has come and gone, and frankly, I could not wait to say goodbye to 2022. It was literally one of the worst years of my life. Hated it. Don't miss it. Glad it's done and over with. But that's the thing with going into a new year, isn't it? Do the days feel any different than last week or month all of a sudden? Of course not. I don't even get that freezing sensation of renewal anymore because now I live in the state of Texas. It's like 70 degrees outside and feels like perpetual spring, right? Lovely weather, but definitely different than the usual freezing temperature I've associated with New Year's most of my life. Not saying that's a bad thing at all, but the extremes of temperatures did used to make me feel more, I guess, explicitly alive through suffering, I guess. Anyway, in the past I've made predictions about the world and the economy or companies, but I think this year I'll do something different and just give some takes on where my own life is going and, or likely to go this year, right? Sure, one could say, how is that a prediction exactly, since I'm in control of my own life, right? Aren't I? I'd argue no, right? Not entirely. I am married after all, and since I'm already retired, I don't really like to dictate to my wifey how she should conduct her life at all. So instead, usually I just go with her flow, okay? Whatever she wants, really. Does that sound like a bad idea? I definitely don't think so. Okay, part of being retired and relaxed is that my floor for being stressed is actually very high, as in I rarely get actually stressed at all these days, okay? Okay, tangent over. Let's just get on with what I think will happen and why I'm almost 100% positive that 2023 will turn out to be a better year for my lady and I. So if you enjoy some random rants from a dude with no production skills whatsoever, clearly, right, like and subscribe, share, comment, or whatever. I'll be great regardless, because I just do these for funsies. Okay, point number one. I am out of grandparents to lose, right? I have to start with a bit of a downer, which hopefully turns into an upper simply by comparison, right? I mean, this is the primary reason I hated 2022, right? Because I lost my remaining half of my 4 grandparents last year, so now I'm down to a big fat 0. So at least I won't lose another. Yay, I think. I mean, I guess the only thing that would make me nervous at this point is that, I could be afraid for the mortality of my own parents or uncles and aunts, but let's be clear, I feel pretty lucky and all my parental level relatives seems pretty well situated at the moment, right? Fingers crossed. Heck, my parents do more exercising than I do and definitely eats a healthier diet. So, I mean, barring some real random acts of nature or whatever, I think they're covered, right? They'll be aight. I mean, now that all the grandfolks are gone, they are the de facto patriarch and matriarchs of their respective families too, so I hope that's a reason for them to hang on if push comes to shove. Plus, I know for my own folks, there's another reason that they'd like to stick around, simply for generational ego and pride, but that's a topic for another day. Okay, point number 2. There's a very high probability that wifey and I will finally get back to traveling internationally this year. Oh, good Lord, how long has it been? Well, actually, I do know exactly how long, right? It's been like that whole 3-year COVID gap. I mean, I early retired 4 years ago, and year 1 of that was so much fun. Mostly because I was chasing my soon-to-be wifey around. But since then, oh my god. I mean, even every slight domestic travel is just tinged with paranoia and suspense. If I'd never see a mask again, I'd be ecstatic. That's what I would tell myself. But then I realized that I really didn't mind not even having a cold or flu for 3 whole years either. So I flip-flop and I think, maybe a bit of masking isn't that much of an effort to avoid being laid out for a week at a time, right? Anyway, that's just a regular living, right? Frankly, not what I imagined my own retired life to be. Who wouldn't want to have fun all around the world? And 3 whole years have gone by, and I'm itching to get out. Wifey's been working super hard the past few years, and I think she deserves a break too. Most importantly, I think she's finally beginning to see the light, right? We've gotten so many COVID vaccination shots that I think even she's brave enough to go to the supermarket without a mask on these days. So next step, maybe we'll get to friends like we kept talking about. I mean, isn't that why I opened my videos with that single sentence of French, just so that I don't look like a dum-dum? Yikes. Finally, point number 3, I'm going to allude to something related to traveling. That's really more personal, that I hope I can finally talk about more freely, maybe in a month or so, right? So let's just say I'm expecting a bigger overall change to our combined lifestyle, right? Maybe we'll go do van life. Maybe we'll move entirely. Oh boy, I'm sure my in-laws might feel nervous hearing hints about that. Wait, who am I kidding? I'm pretty sure my own folks would feel the same way. My counter-argument to all of that is always, hey, just be glad that parental units raised such independence-oriented kids like ourselves. I mean, I can't imagine to be the kind of adult that still relied on the previous generations for constant daily affirmations, right? I grew out of that years, if not decades ago. So anyway, I never lie, so this point will remain somewhat ambiguous for now, right? And yet anyone who watches my clips regularly can probably easily guess it, okay? I actually asked my wifey recently whether she really thinks this possible change is that big of a deal, and somehow she ranked it as even more significant than getting married. And I was like, whoa, 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 holy good lord, disagree. Anyway, tangent done. We are at the cusp, and I can feel it, right? Maybe the change will make us kill each other, but I seriously doubt it. We survived COVID, and in the middle of that was the winter freeze of 2021 in Texas, so somehow I believe we could handle any possible adversity that may come with any major life change. Can't wait. So those are the big items that I'm waiting for, and frankly, that's not even all, right? Phase 2 of our home renovation will hopefully get underway after a whole pause of a year last year. I mean, good lord. We've never even had a complete house to live in, even though we've been in Texas for a couple of years. So that would be nice, but for me, home is where the hearth is, right? Or at least the way I read that statement to mean, home is where your loved ones are, right? So as long as I have my wifey, aka partner in crime, with me, I'll be good anywhere. How about you guys, right? Big plans for the year, or just chugging along like what most of us would do? No shame in that either, okay? But this crouching tiger and or hidden dragon can't wait to fly again. Cheers, I'll approach it.